Nigeria Decides live studios of independent television and radio. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. Of course, it's one day we've all been looking forward to, but things have changed, which is that the 2019 election has been postponed by 1 week. That's coming from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Of course, in a press conference, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, cited a wide range of issues or reasons why the election had to be postponed. Well, I will just have a couple of discussions on it and prepare our mind for the next 1 week when the election will come on full swing. From INEC, the Presidential and National Assembly election has been postponed by 1 week, which means the election will now hold on the 23rd of February. And then the governorship, State House of Assembly elections will now take place on the 9th of March. So expectations, as usual, is very, very high. So we're looking forward to those days. But let's look at some of the issues that have midwife all of these that we're seeing today. I'd like to thank our studio panelists for this special program. Sir Adams Aliyu is a legal practitioner, a notary public affairs commentator, a political analyst. Sir Adams Aliyu, many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
We also have with us in the studio Chief A.B. Thomas, is also a legal practitioner, public affairs commentator, and a political analyst. Chief A.B. Thomas, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Good morning to viewers at home, and good morning to you as well.
Okay, the build up to the 2019 election has been very, very interesting. Of course, by Thursday, 12 midnight, campaigns ended, and I was actually thrilled when I drove around town, Benin City to be specific, yesterday. I saw that many vehicles that had branded vehicles. I mean, some had those branding torn up just to be sure that they are working strictly with the regulations set by INEC and by all the respective agencies, that you must ensure that 24 hours to the election, all campaigns end. And that's quite interesting. But what has changed the situation leading to the postponement of the election, we'll find out in the course of the discussion this beautiful Saturday morning. And just to also let our viewers and listeners know that a program, your regular program, Politics Today, will still hold at 10:30, but this is a special presentation on Nigeria Decides. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right, let me start with Sir Adams Aliyu. The election has been postponed by INEC, citing logistical and security challenges and all of that. Was this anticipated?
If the election has been postponed as it has been, going by the political history of Nigeria, this is not the first time that election will be postponed. And people forget the constitutional role of INEC. The powers of INEC, the powers are encapsulated in the 10th schedule of the 1999 Constitution. Part 1, paragraph F, sections 14 and 15, specifying that INEC has the power to undertake, organize, and supervise elections into the offices of President, Vice President, Governor, Deputy Governor, Senate, House of Reps. Ipso facto, the days, the time frame, they are all within the powers of INEC. The point I'm making is that INEC acted intra vires. They acted within their powers, as it has been done in earlier political history, because INEC can speculate this. It has been shifted by 1 week. Anything, we listen very carefully and attentively to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman. Anything that will be insinuative, will be judgmental, to think and speculate with prejudice that what led him to postpone it must have been this or that. I will not be a party to that realm of speculation. Because as we say in French, Ce qui sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Postponing the election for 1 week does not mean that A, who would have lost, will win 7 days' time. And there will be no need to make much ado about nothing. Here in those states, 2015, elections were postponed and heaven did not fall. I will assess the situation with the facts available before me. I will not be a party to speculating, prejudice, or primordial means which cannot be proved that this may have necessitated. It may tantamount to sentimental flabbiness. So to me, the reasons were enunciated, logistics reasons, security reasons, etc., etc. So premium facie cases have been established, and we should take the facts before us, because whatever will be, will be. The voters are still there, no new voters will come in. 7 days will not make a difference. We should come to equity with clean hands.
Okay, Barrister Thomas, let me come to you now. Was this anticipated in any way?
I anticipated it. The INEC chairman should resign. There is no doubt that the Constitution provides INEC will do this, INEC will organize. Who doesn't do that?
If the INEC chairman, like he said, he was working within the ambit of the Constitution, calling him to resign is unnecessary.
One law student knows that. The INEC has the power to organize. We all know that.
Yes.
As at Wednesday, the INEC chairman and the commissioners said they were fully ready to go on. That was Wednesday. Today is Saturday. And if anybody in Benin City here would have seen the several flights of the helicopters yesterday going around delivering materials, there were video clips, television shows showing that INEC was distributing materials to so many states and local government councils. Now, why did I say I anticipated all this? At about 10 p.m. last night, I was reading through Sarah reporters, and they said INEC was going to postpone the election. I laughed. Why? For the past 3 days, the Federal Attorney General has been insisting that INEC should postpone Zamfara State election on the ground that APC must be included in the list of candidates to contest in Zamfara State.
And he quoted the relevant section.
And he quoted
relevant section of the Constitution.
What is the business of the Attorney General with an independent National Electoral Commission? They have their legal department. What is the business of the Attorney General of the Federation? If INEC is independent, it means that me and you and the Attorney General or any lawyer whatsoever should not interfere with what they are doing.
Okay, let's just stay on course.
Now, if you look at this, history is repeating itself from 2015. If INEC are sincere with themselves, if by Wednesday they said they were fully prepared, every person will hold them to their integrity, that they are really ready to proceed
with the election.
Because they've had 4 years from 2015 to conduct this election. Suddenly, you are postponing it. It gives room to people like me to infer that there is external influence over the postponement of the election. Whoever wants to know should know that as at yesterday evening, it was online in social media that the NSA was saying election should be postponed. INEC has never told us that they were not ready. Now, what happens to all the electoral materials and certain materials that have been distributed? If INEC was not ready, they would have gone ahead to distribute materials. Youth corpers were seen on TV, the open feet weeping. There was no arrangement made for them. INEC itself up till 7 p.m. yesterday, never said we're not ready for election. The fact that people are citing precedents that it happened before, that is a very bad precedent. Is Nigeria supposed to be going backwards or going forward? As a lawyer of 32 years, I am aware that where the Constitution gives you a right to do an act, the same Constitution does not give you a right to carry out those functions immorally, such as organizing and throwing the whole nation into confusion. Many Nigerians have already traveled home to cast their ballots today. You will not tell them to go back home. Who pays for that? A lot of people who had engagements, like marriages and other things, cancel them. And you say we're ready by Wednesday.
Okay.
Any person talking of law, should also know that behind the law, there is morality. And Nigeria should not be taken for a ride.
Okay, let me pause you there, Barrister Adam Saliu. Barrister Ibi Thomas, I beg your pardon. Adam Saliu, INEC told the whole world by Wednesday that they were fully prepared for this election. And then they matched words with action by distributing materials across the Federation. So what would have changed between Wednesday and Saturday to warrant this sudden postponement by 1 week, presidential election now 23rd of February, governorship and State House of Assembly now 9th of March. Let's get your thoughts along those lines, because you were saying just now that you didn't want to jump into any conclusion, all right? But INEC chairman in a press conference cited logistical challenges. Yeah, so let's build on that with you.
I listened attentively to the reason of how or what made INEC to postpone the election. You can classify them as force majeure. Force majeure means unforeseen circumstances. Force majeure happens in history. As I said, there are precedents, there are antecedents. If there's an unforeseen circumstances, it becomes a circumstantial byproduct of a normal law situation, and you take it as it is. If we are not in position of the INEC chairman to maybe disclose some hidden facts, as it were, quote and unquote, we have to believe what he said. Logistic reasons, security reasons, as it was done before. If it was mala fide, it was in bad faith to have postponed what Jonathan did 2015 and even Edo State before, where that is left for history. But as analysts, as contributors, it is not good to be speculating or always insinuating negative, unknown reasons to the outward and overt reasons. So what happened, as I said, is a force majeure, and there is no difference between this Saturday and next Saturday. The results will not be altered. What will be, will be. That's how it is. And it's a constitutional issue. INEC have acted in traverse. I don't acted or traverse. If anybody thinks that INEC acted or traverse beyond his power, it can take INEC to court. But the third schedule, part 1, gives INEC the power to do what they are doing. And ceteris paribus, the reasons adduced, I think security and logistics are very fundamental and important to organize free and fair election.
Okay. Yeah. There are no genuine reasons for postponing this election. Talking of security reasons, has there not been security problems in Nigeria all these days? Did it just happen? What is the force majeure? Has there not been security challenges in Nigeria? When they said they were ready to go ahead with the election, they distributed papers. I should have been in that state doing something else by now. Most Nigerians should have been doing other businesses, not armchair critics. Now, if you cite logistics, what did we see on TV? INEC vehicles distributed materials. How come that the logistic problems just became a force majeure just last night. How? We are Nigerians, we're not fools. You can't tell a man of 63 years old that I should accept that you suddenly saw force majeure yesterday. Wednesday, you were ready to go. It means all the materials were with the CBN. It means your people were in the field already. The police had changed some of the commissioners of the election. So there was no reason. I said, I am submitting that there's no reasonable reason why this will be done, except with, if you permit me,
yes,
please just, I mean to say something. It may not be directly related to the INEC chairman's address. The INEC chairman has mortgaged the integrity of INEC by this singular act. If you look at all your online pictures, you will even see the INEC chairman wearing the same cap with APC leaders, the blue cap for campaigning, wearing the same cap. And that has to do with the public perception of INEC. And it was in channels, television, showing the cap he was wearing, and questions were asked. Is this chairman a member of INEC? Is he a member of APC? Was this cap donated to him? Was it coincidental? And if you marry that, if you juxtapose that with the outcry of Nigerians about one Mrs. Waziri, INEC has shown that by all means they must listen to interference from outside places. And if you look at all that, and this annoying postponement, and people say it has happened before. When Jonathan administration, it happened. Did people clap for Jonathan? We should not be supporting what is bad. In my place, we say, Oda. What is bad is bad. Nobody should be citing legal authorities to support what is bad and call it precedent.
Okay.
Does it mean in 2023 we postpone election again and we say, oh, it was done in 2019? We should be moving forward. People should stop giving us excuses. I have told you here, in England, in UK, they do elections. Nobody knows they do elections. You don't leave your office, go. It is because the electoral empire is unbiased, prepared, has integrity intact. Then the people have belief, confidence in the umpire. If you have an umpire whose antecedents for the past 3 months have been suspect, and the same umpire now midnight begins to postpone election with their integrity already bashed in the past 3 weeks, and they are not postponing election now, a lot of Nigerians will just say, well, we said it, why should I go and vote? It can create more voter apathy.
Okay, let's pause it there for a moment, just to let our viewers know that Professor Julius Iyasare is the ASU chairman, University of Benin, just joined this live studios of Nigerian Decides on independent television and radio. Prof, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
What was your first reaction to the news of postponement of this election?
Of course, with some level of shock and of course shame. That is the truth. That some of us belong to this country. People over 200 million strength population cannot plan simple election. Of course, I have said it before that this government doesn't have the compelling vision, the character, the courage, the competence and credibility to organize anything. Can anything good come out of Egypt? I've said it before. That is what we are seeing here. It's very, very unfortunate. You know, you look at what the process leading to appointments of officials in INEC. About 2 days ago was when they were recruiting and training people in Uniben here and all of that. Is that Within how many days you are training people who are going to conduct elections on the field? Was it like that in the past? It's a big shame that we no. Very, very painful. It's unfortunate that we've lost it again because many persons traveled from distances. You saw people packing from Kano to their various places, maybe because of security complications and all that. Those same persons, for 1 week, is either they are going to return back again on the road, or they would have lost, business gains within 1 week to stay back in their maybe places perceived to be safe before returning back to base. It is very, very unfortunate. There is no legitimate reason except for level of incompetence. No other. And then, what is very painful, why I'm feeling very worried, is that people are casting aspersions. You are blaming previous governments to be responsible. Must it be PDP everything? You cannot swallow, you call PDP and all that? What kind of shame is this? It's just, as I thank God for the country we are in, that this country, people are actually, very peaceful. Or do I say, is it that we have become very timid and intimidated in this country? That is why we just take people for a ride. Otherwise, in some other clients, this money wouldn't have been easy for this country. That is the honest truth. Having planned, because people must understand that it is taxpayers' money that is being wasted, that is being plundered. It's people's money. We all of us contribute to the general purse. We own the general. That's what is all of this? It's painful, very, very painful.
Okay. All right, Sir Adam Saliu. There are concerns that have been expressed even right here that this postponement has dented the image of the umpire, INEC. What with the fact that there were several assurances in the build-up to the election that they were ready. Even in places like Northeast, where there has been security challenges, they went ahead to say they were ready to conduct elections in those areas. And now that this has happened, don't you think that, would you subscribe to some of the insinuations that this has dented the reputation of INEC being an independent organization?
Well, I will resist attempts on my side to turn this forum into a milieu for ostentatious advertisement or self-glorification. Otherwise, at 70 years, was a newspaper editor of the Daily Times for 19 years. I traveled all over the world. It's not now GSM. World Cup, Queen's birthday, referendum, I covered everything. I am multilingual. I did all that, so I'm not reading from books. That was my job before I embarked into legal practice. So I will not embark on sentimental flabbiness or self-glorification. As I said, you are talking of 48, 32 hours before now. The INEC boss assured people, ceteris paribus, that was the situation at that time. In Paris material, as things were, everything was okay. A force majeure is an unforeseen circumstances. A clairvoyant, a soothsayer cannot prophesy a force majeure. So, and as I said, I will take the facts available for us and believe the reasons he adduced. Giving free and fair, equal platforms to all parties involved, to be fair to all concerned, as they say in Rotary, that 7 days will not make any difference. So, what will be, will be. And so, to be judgmental and speculative to what we have not been told in the press conference by the chairman, I will not be a party to this.
Okay. By Sebi Thomas, let's get your perspectives on the implication of this postponement for the different stakeholders. Let's begin with the candidates, the party candidates who have been campaigning for the last couple of weeks leading to the election. Let's start off from there.
Now, PDP has already come out to condemn the postponement. That it is a ploy by INEC to assist their opponent to manipulate results. That is a debt on the credibility of INEC already. The ex-president Obasanjo called a press conference yesterday afternoon and said, people are already printing all over the country. I watched the press conference. I watched it. Then
you watched the press conference doesn't mean that you
I
saw.
said,
He said so, yeah,
yes.
but he didn't show where that printing
Yes.
was taking place.
But they
Now-
sell bags in Kano.
Okay.
there were 17 bags were seen of printed papers by the police, and it was shown
Okay.
that they were printed for APC. I'm not the one. It was on the papers, and the pictures were shown. You are a media man. If you didn't see it, too bad. I saw it. Then you are given 7 days more to allow more to be done, to bring more chargers and Nigerians who came for campaign in Nigeria with their governors to come and print in with about 7 days again. The past days has not been enough. You are extending it for them. Then look at the candidates who have been campaigning from both sides everywhere. See the amount of money they have put into it. Campaigns in Nigeria are not for free. So who is going to, where will they get money now to continue for another 7 days? So anybody who is talking about postponement should look at all this. All electoral observers are already present. Your president received them. That they are ready to go on with the election. How do you think this will affect the credibility? You see, the image of the country has already been damaged before now. It's getting worse. I cannot go out of Nigeria and tell people I'm in Nigeria. I'm ashamed. With international observers here already, those ones will begin to send reports to their countries that these people are incompetent set of human beings. Rwanda conducted an election. Small countries. Even Burundi. Ghana conduct elections. A country of about 200 million people. We are always bringing out incompetent people to do things in Nigeria. Now, these foreign observers are already here. Are they going to go back and come back? Of course, I will beg them, use this medium. Please don't go. Continue to observe and see what we are going to do in 7 days. Tell me what logistic or illogistic problem you have that you cannot solve, that you will not be able to solve in 7 days. What? We are always on the negative side of news.
No, that's not correct. That we're
No.
always on the negative side.
You know that Nigeria
negative news can come up. Not that we're always on the negative
there
side.
is nothing like false major in this negative news. This is a negative news. Nobody should be happy about it. No false major about it. I am telling you that foreign observers are here.
Yeah.
Politicians have been campaigning. They've spent so much money. INEC itself has spent so much money. They were complaining about we don't have money, without money. Money was released. I bet even illegally. National Assembly call off their holidays to come and sit to say, look, INEC knows that there is money for them. So upon all this, my own preparation to come here this morning was to discuss the presidential election.
Yeah.
Not the topic has changed.
Okay.
And anybody is coming to talk of something else.
All right, let me
Like, excuse me a minute.
Yeah.
Like my chairman said a few minutes ago, this is grass and gross incompetency. And it is not something anybody should cite as a president.
Okay, let me push you there, Chief A.B. Thomas. Prof, we're looking at the implications of this postponement for the different stakeholders. What are your thoughts?
Of course, for those without money, those who cannot dip hand into the federal government coffers, or as it were free money, like it is unaccounted for, because we don't account for anything here. will be at a disadvantage. And so those who will always have where to go and collect money from will continue. We have an upper hand over the other. And then the second is that those who also have power, naked power, will use it to sway this election in their direction. That is the implication, or what it is, to the players in this election. That is just it. And then two is that the spirit is dampened. So many persons might not return back to the polling booth next Saturday. The conclusion by so many is that this is what we have said. This is what we predicted this, that it will happen. They are trying to sway the election, that they are going to rig this election.
Our votes will not come.
And so the votes won't come, and so why should I return back to the polling booth? That is what.
But isn't that a defeatist mentality?
How defeatist when it is a repetition of what the people already know? Is it somebody, a kind of fear, that palpable fear you have had, and then it's not confirmed? How defeatist is that? It means you are thinking right. That is what it is. Somebody called from CBN yesterday where they were supposed to collect materials, that some materials from Delta are in Benin here and all that. No result sheets and all that. That's what happened. At the CBN quarters in Benin here, where they were to collect, that is what played out yesterday night. With vehicles from different local governments and all that, later on at Papapa Road in Benin here. Couldn't see. Until somebody came and addressed some. Be here. If we don't see result sheet, don't move. And so those vehicles were chartered with money. These are all taxpayers' money. In fact, this country, only God.
Okay. Sir Adam Saliu, yes. We're looking at the implications of this postponement. They've talked about the economic implications. I believe we also shed some light on the political implications. I'm sure you want to get some perspective on those.
In journalism, there's an aphorism that facts are secret. With the postponements, obviously, there are evidence of wastage, because non-sensitive materials were moved beforehand, as it was supposed to be, and sensitive materials were to be moved at the 0 hour. People moved from one place to the other, relocated. Money was wasted. Even the candidates, they were campaigning. There's a lacuna now between now and next week. What do? Do they resurrect their campaigns? If they had obliterated their vehicles with their pictures and the rest, do they go back to the painters and do that? Those are the aftermaths and fallout of the postponement, which in summation are fallout from a force majeure and unforeseen circumstance. So the economic evidence is that some money will be wasted. Sociologically, people are disorganized and displaced. They have to go forward and backward two or twice. Those are what are directly evident from the postponements. We are here now. Maybe next Saturday we have to come again. We had encumbrances and inconveniences to be able to make this money rendezvous, and we may have to repeat it. So that is it as it be. But to insinuate that postponement is already a prelude to announce the result or change the status quo ante, as I said, it will be judgmental, prejudicial, and presumptive to jump the bridge when we have not reached the river.
Okay.
I want to add quickly. Even yesterday,
Yes.
that 66 people were killed in Kajuru,
Yes, now.
in Kaduna. That governor there, El-Rufai, still said election will go on. And he's a member of APC.
But even INEC said they are taking care of security and all of that. But only yesterday,
66 people
in a
killed.
local government. Then how are you
coming up to say no more election?
You are ready.
Yesterday, your government removed all the military personnel from Akwa Ibom government house yesterday. as a prelude to make Akpabio use. Akpabio said it.
But let's not make insinuations, okay?
No,
because we know that part of the security architecture to ensure a very smooth sailing election, there was a directive for security personnel attached to political office holders to be withdrawn
no,
and redeployed.
I'll correct you. In the whole Southwest,
yes,
only Akwa Ibom. I have evidence here. Only Akwa Ibom State House
security were withdrawn.
Soldiers were withdrawn. Wait, let me ask you. What has the security of a city governor got to do with polling units?
Okay, there's something I want to bring on board.
Yes, come.
Something I want to bring on board, which is that the question is, what next? The election has been postponed. What next? Particularly with the fact that the sensitive materials are already available. Non-sensitive materials, they're already available. What next, gentlemen? Yeah.
Now, how do you secure those ones? How do you secure? How do you ensure that they don't go into the wrong hands? How are you sure that those ones will not be completed now? How are you sure they will not be entered, the results will not be entered between now and next Saturday? We saw in 2015 how some people, it was being displayed on social media, that election that was postponed, some documents were now reading the date of postponement. You remember this one, Sonny Duke. Yeah. Let us not deceive ourselves. We gain more by telling Nigerians the truth rather than coming here to tell us about force majeure. The security of those documents cannot be guaranteed anymore. The sanctity of those documents cannot be guaranteed anymore. How do you convince me, Amy Thomas, to go back and waste my time to go and vote on the 23rd? I am going to host my community in my house on the 23rd. You are changing all my plans. Now, not only me, thousands and millions of Nigerians also have the same issue, that what will happen between now and Saturday? Can't we progress? We are being asked to say, okay, it has happened, we should plan for the next 7 days. What plan are you now going to do? Are you going to ask the man from Umuahia who left Kanu to go back to Kanu and come back again for the same reason during the week? A lot of people have closed their businesses. So, talking about going forward, we should be ready to say, look, enough of incompetency in Nigeria. We should move forward. I don't want people to tell me Awolowo was that, Ezek was that. In that time they were postponing elections. We are past that stage. This is the age of technology. If INEC has no technological department, they should have technological department. When about 4,000 or 6,000 candidates were burnt in Anambra State, INEC told us they are ready to go on. With that massive number of candidates that were burnt, they said we are ready to go on. Yesterday, RFI, APC governor, said we are ready to go on. So, what do you know? It is going to, like we have agreed here, 3 of us have agreed, it will dampen the enthusiasm in the next 7 days.
Okay.
Let me don't forget that in this country, this is a country where everybody keep on saying June 12 was the best election. June 2023. It was because everybody saw it as a level playing field, and it was transparent. It was not characterized by this kind of ambiguous postponement. Then you come and begin to manufacture reasons for the postponement.
Okay, let me bring Prof in here. Yeah. What next? The election has been postponed.
Just to say that what has happened is synonymous with leakage of examination questions. And so the only thing you can do now is that advise government.
You reset the question.
Yeah, you first questions. Yeah. So we are spending the money already. Thank God for the elephant Nigeria. You know, somebody said in the past that, in fact, I don't know what to do with money in this country. So let's continue to spend the money. The idea now is to return back, change the color of all election, especially the sensitive materials.
Within 7 days?
Yes, they have to. Or you must. Otherwise, there will be no credibility. That is the honest truth. Because these result sheets would have gotten into wrong hands. So how do you want to convince anybody? Let me tell you, I heard the story of Kesera. What will be is like a rolling stone gathers no moss. If a stone does not roll at all, where will it see moss? So that's the same thing with, no, wars are won on a table. You plan before going to the field. What is very clear here is that people didn't plan. For materials meant for another state, found in another state, and all that, showed high class incompetence. So there's no two way about it. So to move from here, the other idea is now, and plead with Nigeria. I expect the president to be on TV this morning, broadcast to this country, apologize to people, you know, for failure. That is just it. You owe people responsibility. Apologize for failure, for incompetence, and all that. We will do it again, but these are the modus operandi, things that we are putting in place to correct whatever has gone on, to tell Nigerians that we can do it. So that's my expectation. That is my take. The president should come out, should broadcast to Nigeria, should tell Nigerians what has really happened, how we are going to go to correct all this, to build confidence back in the people, citizens of this country.
Okay, yes. Let me get Sir Adam Saliu. What next? Yeah.
The next thing is that no other person has the local standing to talk about the election other than the INEC chairman. We should give him benefit of that as provided and encapsulated in the Constitution. He has given reasons. If you regard the reasons as apologetic, serve. If not otherwise, to expect any other official, IG, president, Senate president, to come and address Nigeria, that will be ultra various. You don't have the local standing about the election. Section 14 and 15 of the test schedule gives an effort.
No, I'm asking by Adam Saliu, what next? The election has been postponed now. What next?
The next thing is that to prevent the sanctity, all sensitive materials should be changed to ensure that they are fresh by Saturday. Otherwise, if the ones before now are left in their status quo position, they could be tampered with. Okay. We should start ab initio and ensure free and fair that all the materials, especially the sensitive ones, will be new. That way we involve expenditure, but here we are.
All right, Mr. Amsaliu, probably on the concluding side of this discussion. On Thursday, there was a nationwide broadcast by Mr. President where he gave assurances on the readiness of his government and the institutions empowered to conduct this election. But we are here now. Do you subscribe to another broadcast like Prof advised a while ago?
I would not subscribe to another broadcast. Specifically, the presidential speech was an omnibus speech. At regular intervals, the head of state, Independence Day,
addresses the nation. Yes.
So
are you saying that
bills are before the Senate, but to specifically address their own election, that is unusual, and I would not subscribe to.
All right, Mr. Thomas, yeah.
The president used his broadcast to campaign. That is what he did. Now that his government has failed with INEC, let him come and address us and beg us to go and vote. Because when he was campaigning on Thursday in his broadcast,
I will not subscribe to you saying the president has failed this country with his government.
He said
with the
we are ready to He campaigned on that day and he told Nigerians he was ready to call the election. He is the buck stops with INEC, but he is the one who is the president of Nigeria, bigger than INEC. He should come and tell us.
But he wasn't the one who made the announcement. It was INEC who said, logistical challenges, they had to postpone the election.
You Christians, you say, well, it is the hand of Esau or the voice of Jacob. It is his hand I'm seeing, not this. Forget it.
Somebody put Zachary, somebody removed Zachary. Who is an agency under this government?
Under this government.
And so, is it not somebody that put another again, somebody remove another again? Without recourse to constitution and anything? So what are we saying?
Let him come and beg us. Otherwise, we will do mass protest, we will vote. Let him continue with this for years.
All right. Gentlemen, we thank you for your time with us on the program, Nigerian Decides 2019. Of course, you're already aware. If you're not, then of course take it from us here that the 2019 election has been postponed by 1 week, and that's courtesy of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu is the head of that government agency, saddled with the responsibility, onerous one for that matter, to conduct election. And they've told us that citing logistical challenges, the election has been postponed by 1 week. 23rd of February, presidential and National Assembly election. And then 9th of March is governorship, State House of Assembly, and the Abuja Municipal Area Council election. That's coming from INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. As expected, there have been reactions across the country, both from the ruling party and from the opposition party. The opposition party has come up to say, well, this is a strategy. They've alleged that is a strategy to give advantage to the ruling party. We're waiting for them to substantiate that, but that's the way it is. Civil society has been reacting. Elder statesmen, they've been reacting. You should expect that. But the question now is, the election has been postponed. That's a statement of fact. What next is to start all over again the processes of ensuring that we have a free, fair, and credible election. What is the perception of Nigeria and Nigerians by the international community as a result of this postponement? What becomes the lot of people who have to travel from far and wide to their respective destination, maybe their hometowns, their villages, just to be able to cast their votes? And this has been a very thorny issue in our political process. People have said, look, we don't need to travel that long. Vote where you are. Just register where you are and vote. But the tradition in this country has been that if you're from Kafachan, you reside in Benin, when registration is ongoing, you go to Kafachan to register. And when election comes, you need to travel home to vote. And if something happens like it is now, it means to a large extent you're going to be stranded. Because the question is, should I go back to my base, to my station, or should I remain at home where I had budgeted maybe 100,000 naira to take care of me and my family while we're in the village for the election? Now the election has been postponed. What happens? So these are the questions, many questions I must say, begging for answers. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll be looking at some of the stories that are coming in from the field as it relates to the postponed 2019 election. Stay with us on Nigerian Decides 2019 live studios of Independent Television and Radio. Many thanks again for rejoining us. Just to let you know that we're calling it a wrap now on our Nigerian Decides live studios on Independent Television and Radio. Of course, we'll be together again next week, Saturday, 23rd of February, when the Presidential and National Assembly election will hold. I want to say big thanks to our panelists here. Big thanks to all of you for staying with us.